pleasure to welcome all of you here to celebrate their wedding. Whilst I'm welcoming people, I'd like to officially welcome Warren's parents here today, Anne and Chris, who have travelled from Hong Kong and Beijing to be with us today. I know that some of you have come further and others not so far, but that just makes you all the more welcome guests on this happy day. We have guests from as far afield as Cyprus, Italy, the United States, Canada, and Hong Kong. But wherever you come from, your attendance has really made the day for Fran and Warren, so thank you very much. I hope you're having a good time. I know we are. And finally, I would like to say that Warren and Fran have both worked very hard on the plans for today, and they've done a great job. They really have. And the wedding has taken a lot of time and patience to organise, but I'm really surprised, and I should say delighted, that it's all turned out so well. Everyone in the hall looks wonderful. But every silver lining has a cloud, and here I am. According to the big book of wedding speeches that Frank gave me 2 years ago, the father of the bride's speech is generally expected to be the least funny and often the most sentimental. Well, if you think being funny is difficult, you ought to try faking sentimentality. I've always known that Fran is a beautiful woman, but I've never seen her quite so beautiful or as radiant as she does today. I'm extremely proud of her. Fran came into the world 29 years ago. She was a beautiful baby and a joy to have around the house. Fran was very lively, chatty and loving as a child. All I had to do was open my arms and that was it, she'd come running towards me. And this continued well into her teenage years, although by then it was when I opened my wallet. But Fran was a perfect daughter in every way. She had a lovely nature as a child and loved many things in life, including her cuddly toys. I remember that Fran, you might not be able to read that. Fran used to completely fill her bedroom with cuddly toys, leaving just a very small space in between them where she could sit. There's a photograph of her on the photo wall. I mustn't say too much about that. Downstairs. There was even a rumour that they'd all been invited here today, but thankfully that doesn't seem to have happened. Well, two maybe. And although I haven't checked in the bridal suite, so I don't know. Aside from her cuddly friends, something else that Fran developed was a love, for when she was young, was a love of writing. Fran loved writing throughout her childhood, from filling out a diary when she was young through to writing many creative stories as a teenager. And I have to say, some of her later work was a bit risque, but it was very good in it. That's the only embarrassing one. Of course, around this time, Fran was in school and doing very well indeed. I'm pleased to tell you that Fran was a wonderful student in school. She worked hard and did well in all of her subjects. When she was about 13, she decided to become an astronaut and proceeded to book a place at Space Camp in Huntsville, USA. She spent a thoroughly enjoyable time there, totally destroying the space shuttle, just a simulator, not the real thing. It's a shame that she didn't continue this career choice because she could visit a new restaurant they're building on the moon. It's going to have really good food, but no atmosphere at all. That was mine, that was. Fran wanted to fly when she was in secondary school, She said that when I grow up I want to be a pilot because it's a fun and easy job to do. Fun and easy? I don't know. That's why there's so many pilots flying around these days. What else do pilots do? Following school, Fran left home at the age of 18 and went off to university. I'll never forget the day when Fran moved out of the house. The place just wasn't the same without her. For one thing, we seemed to have developed a bathroom and a telephone line. Two things I'd never seen before. After doing well at university, Fran moved into the world of work. And she has had many jobs over the years, both full-time and part-time. Fran started her working life when she was still at school by babysitting, and since then she's worked as a BBC presenter's assistant for the National Health Service, and even over in Hong Kong for a law firm and an international nursery. But I think one of her best jobs was in Hull at a stationery called Stamos! No, sorry, I shouldn't do that, but it's I have to do it. Right, only another 149 to go. So, well, these days, of course, Fran now works as an early years teacher and is wonderful at that sort of work. As a retired teacher myself, I know any teaching position you have to have excellent communication skills. And Fran excels in this area. She always has done. Fran has had many friends when she was young. She loved nothing more than communicating with all her friends and talking to them about anything every single day for hours and hours on end sometimes. And if you don't believe me, I have my old telephone bills to prove it. Now, if you know Fran as I do, you'll know that away from work, she has a number of interests in life, gadgets being one of them. Fran loves cameras and camera phones, for example, and she's always taking pictures and posting them online. And Fran is really quite good at this. She has a wonderful eye for a good picture, and quite often will look at other people's pictures before providing advice and criticisms on lighting, camera angles and focus. Words I'm sure that our wedding photographer will be pleased to hear today. Aside from this, Fran still carries a deep love of writing. And as you may be aware, the past few years, Fran has produced her own online blog about today's wedding, writing many articles on the subject. Yes, Fran has left no stone unturned in making today a success. She has planned everything many, many times over, and nothing has been left to chance. I look out to you today and see you as a crowd of wedding guests. Fran, however, looks out at you and she sees cells in a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and some are coloured grey, but it's best not to go into that, I think. Instead, let's move on from Fran and talk about the man who earlier became her new husband. I am, of course, talking about Warren. So let's move on to the moment when Fran and Warren first met, a moment that was the start of something wonderful. And that's why we're here today. I am, of course, read that bit, sorry. Now, as we all know, today's marriage is a marriage made in heaven, but if you dig a little deeper, you'll find it's also a marriage made in Hull University, because it was there that Fran and Warren first met around 9 years ago. The first I knew about this was when Fran told me that she was enjoying university and had met somebody. I wondered what all the fuss was about. I thought she'd met lots of people at university. But then I was told this was something special. It wasn't long before I met Warren at Fran's 21st birthday party. I thought immediately that he was a wonderful man. And over the following months, then years, it was great to watch his relationship with Fran grow and develop. I think we could all tell that Fran and Warren was something very special together. And this was cemented when Warren took Fran to Nottingham one day to propose. The plan was to propose in Sherwood Forest. But upon discovering that the forest was actually miles and miles from the city centre, Warren led Fran behind the cathedral to propose instead, which must have looked a bit peculiar. Of course, Fran said yes, and we were thrilled by the news. It was great to hear that one of our daughters was getting married. I then started thinking about all the things that I have to do on their wedding day. Fran assured me that the most important thing I had to do was just give her away. And this did sadden me a little, the thought of giving my daughter away. I'd hope to get something for her at least. But every father hopes for a wonderful man to marry his daughter, and I don't believe they come any better than Warren. Chris and Anne have done a wonderful job on Warren as their son, and I know that quite rightly they're very proud of him today. A friend of mine has just celebrated his 50th wedding anniversary, and when he got married they decided that he would make all the large decisions and his wife would make all the small decisions. And he noticed over that 50 years of their marriage there had been no big decisions. On a more serious note, Fran and Warren, I'm very pleased with both of you. I'm very proud to see you as a married couple today. Warren, I think you're a tremendous person, and I'm delighted for you to join our family. And Fran, I've struggled very hard to put into words just what you mean to me and to mine. You have made us so very proud over the years, and you're one of the kindest and considerate people that anyone could ever wish to meet. And we couldn't have wished for any more from a daughter. If your marriage to Warren brings you just a fraction of the happiness that you brought to me as a father, then I have no worries whatsoever for you. You're still our little girl, and we're still here for you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to propose a toast to the new Mr. and Mrs. Warren. Fran and Warren make a fantastic couple together, and they have a great future to look for. Ladies and gentlemen, Fran and Warren.